Well, I do want to mention that the last video I recorded hasn't been uploaded as I record this one, but it will be uploaded by the time this one is and by the time you're seeing this one. Both of them will be, to that matter. But there's just a little step I wanted to show on this now. I told you all that we were going to get another little bit for the rotary tool, so we got this one. It's kind of got a little bit of a bigger point on it that could do much better for the eyes. So where we've got the little marks drawn in for the eyes, we're going to put this little one in to make the eyes there. Thankfully, the little kid's not over today, so that way I can kind of run the tools without her getting all scared to death of the noise. We've already done that little eye on both sides here. I do think that there's probably going to be a little additional sanding to be done to this one eventually, but you see where I've already kind of gone around the head a little bit. There's probably a few more places we're going to come back and take care of here. And I just would like to mention that there's probably a little thing or two we'll do here. There's a certain bit, I'll tell you, yeah, I found it just now. It was hiding down there under some other stuff, but the little bit like we often use for the eyes and nostrils, we're going to drill in the nostrils with this one. And as for how the little horse head comes along, there's probably going to be little ways to come. I think with all these black marks on here, we can just sand those away. And if we sand them away, we don't have to worry too much about what we see. And I'd say that it just might be a little something or another. The wood could have rotted or something. Maybe it's just a little bit of this little, some sort of print or another that came on. Anything could have happened here, but we kind of gotta sand it away, get rid of it all. Whatever it is going to be, I say, oh, the work of all we do, I say that this is just a little job in the making for what we're working with today, making it so it's just going to shine a little light down to us, and oh, a little time when we can kind of sand away these little marks, I say. Some of them, they look like they might even just be something, some kind of fungus that got in the wood, I don't know. Looks like it's not going to come up completely, but it'll kind of probably make it a little unique, make it look like the horse head has a little design to it. I'd like to show you all in a little bit another thing that I've done in between these videos here, and that is something I'll show you as soon as I can. I'm going to try to get a little bit of this little extra sanding done in here to make it so it's going to stand out a little freaking more, make it so we're going to see little things do what they're going to do. And oh, I tell you all that, oh, little light in our world, light in our work. Oh, times like these we get driven away by the little things we work and do in life, and it's just kind of a thing where we see a little brighter space in our days, you know, as we come along on this, we see bright light ways, I say that this is just where we come along. Got a little saw mark under here. Going to try to get rid of that as much as we can. But I'd say at this point, we kind of got the head of the horse to come out pretty good. It's just where those signs are on there. I tell you, we can just kind of sand away all these lines, get rid of all this mess, and show how this little work is doing its way along us, along our paths, along our lives. And so I say that this is just the light we share, the light we do, the light we work. Oh, I tell y'all that this is just what it's coming down to. Oh, to make a little sanding come a long way, make it so we're seeing little things. And I think that some of this stuff is getting a little bit better as we go. I think we're going to get rid of a little more as we come the rest along the way. I think we got another lighter grit here. Sometimes I think the lighter grits might get out the lines better than the heavier will. And when we finally get down to them, it makes it so it comes out a little smoother than before. I even figured that out for myself even before I started carving. Even whenever I was just doing little stuff on the scroll saw, that was the kind of thing I'd do, is just start out with heavy grits, go to lighter grits. I was always on that saw, you know, making gifts for people who I thought were special in my life. All these oral hygienists who worked on my teeth. Because I was a young man at that time and they were young girls, and so it was just kind of little ways I had. Always just, you know, trying to be people's friends the best way I knew how in those days. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't always work for the best or the better. But I say that when you get down to the work, here, I say, maybe make it look like the horse has some spots in its skin on one side. And I say that this is how it is just to be in Little Kentucky, which is to us the horse capital. And it's just kind of the thing where we see, oh, I'll tell you, and there's a lot of cool horses out there. People tell me they kind of like the Clydesdale. You know, there used to be a sign in a restroom in the men's at McConnell Springs that talks about a Clydesdale, something about the amount of urine they can carry in their bodies. I mean, it was kind of a little interesting story to hear, but I say that a little work come along now. I'll tell you all a story about time I was out on a farm when I was a teenager for a birthday party, and there was a mother horse with a colt inside of the little fence outside the barn. I was running out there to see the colt, and the colt started running to her mother, and there was a younger kid who came to me and said, "The farmer wants you to come back." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because his mommy will hurt you." And so, just little things to watch out for. Sometimes I'm thankful somebody did get me to come back, because yes, I tell you, that big horse would have hurt me had I just gotten any closer as I was trying to do. Wouldn't have been safe for me to be there. Wouldn't have been a safe way to be. I heard that's how it is, you know, cows and horses on farms, the way they protect their babies. Don't want to go up to the fence if they have one, you know. And all I say is, little work comes away. Tell you about a time I was outside of Goodwill just dropping off some old stuff down there in the little drop-off they have out there, and there was a mother cat and some kittens, the kittens were out there just playing with the toys that were dropped off there, and Mother Cat was out there watching them. And I was thinking, since she was a domestic animal, it would be like I could go out there and perhaps even play with the kittens while they were playing with the toys. But as I approached the little kittens, Mother Cat just started kind of walking up to me in a real protective way. She was sure going to protect those kittens, and so I just finally had to back down. You know, I wasn't going to risk it for her. It's just the way animals can be, whether they're wild or domestic. They're going to be protecting their babies. And as you know, I've learned since then, I've had friends who were so into cats that they could tell me all about how sometimes a cat that is of a domestic breed can sometimes live as a wild one. There was a certain friend I had, she was always, you know, bringing old cats into her house, and her mom didn't always like it, but I mean, I tell you, for the way a little world works, something good. I think we're going to do one more little step here. Probably try to maybe get the, well, there already is the skew tip on this burner, so we might turn it on here. Try to make a little thing where, and first of all, we unplugged the burner to plug the Dremel in, so might have to plug the burner back in here and not turn it up so hot. But I say we're going to make the little lines in here for the ears. I think about how there's been creatures like this. Even in the Bible days, they were often used. Horses were often used. There were things that often worked their ways around. People often used elephants to pull chariots and things like that, you know. There's so much I've read online, so much to know. And I say that here we kind of got the little places in for the ears. I'm thinking that probably for this series, these two videos were probably all we needed to do. Some of what's going to be done next is pretty much the same stuff that we always do with just about every project we make. So I think it might be time that I kind of end this series right here and say that this was good enough for carving the little butternut horse head from the scrap. And now what I finally wanted to show you is what I did here. I drew it out so I could cut out many more and make them just like it. Do think I got the eyes a little uneven. Think I'm going to go back and take care of that. But thanks anyway for watching. I'll see you in the next series.